Hey, it's Ryan Johnson. I'm with Ryan on Twitter. You can find my blog at littlekingryan.com. And I just want to do this video because, man, I got it all written down. And, if I don't get around to doing it, then I might not ever do it. So I'm just going to go ahead and get it done before I head out for the day. So this is about you and me, that we're actually very powerful beings. We limit ourselves often to this physical body and what we can and can't do physically, and a lot of that is stuff that we set our own limits when there may not be limits at all. So God created you in His image. He created me in His image. By Genesis 1:26, we know that, and that He gave us authority over all of the world. He gave us authority over the fish and the clouds and the mountains. And Adam and Eve actually gave that authority over to Satan. So the story goes. And then Jesus came and he gave his life, and he was a messenger, and he was telling people that it wasn't about religion, but that it was about a relationship, and that God wasn't about judgment, but God was about, forgiveness and brotherly love and compassion and kindness. And Jesus, when he was sacrificed, he went to hell, and he actually led a procession of the people in hell. He led them around the town like you would, like in an embarrassing manner. Okay, so Jesus took back the keys for our hell. He gave the way for everyone who believed on him to come to eternal life. So Jesus restores that balance. So God is light, Jesus is light. Light is the life of men. It is with this light, this faith in God, that we are able to carry God's image within us, the image of God. And Jesus said that He and the Father are one, and that's available to all of us through Jesus on the cross. The infinite wisdom and original authority of God bestowed on us, like it was in the beginning. Think how creative Adam was. He had to name every animal. We are really unlimited beings, and we need to start getting back to that original creation that God intended for us. So it's in the faith and the message of Jesus, the Christ. Um, the people of Jesus' time were lost in their religious ways. They're very stuck up in their ways. Jesus rebuked them throughout his ministry to the hardness of their hearts. They believed that their sins were more hidden or hideable sins, and that by their donations they felt like they were righteous because they gave a lot of stuff, and that their sins were not as obvious as other people's, like maybe a smoker or someone who drinks alcohol or something. Those sins are a little bit more obvious. So we know that Jesus came as a servant to all before he was before he was crucified. He washed his disciples' feet, and he said, the servant is not above the master. It is worthy for the servant to want to be like the master. So if you want to be like me, be a servant to all. That was Jesus. Jesus said, I'm a servant. I came as a servant. And be a servant to all in a spirit of love and openness and truth, not hiding any hard feelings. So since we know God returned authority and dominion over life, we know that we can do what God says we can. We know that his word is true. Now how do we live a life to the fullest, create and fulfill our destiny? Let's go back to Genesis. When God created the world, he spoke. He said, let it be, and there was. He said, let there be land, and there was. Let there be water, and there was. Let there be light, and there was. Let there be, and there was. And a lot of this, I think it comes back to how whenever you have faith in what you're speaking, is that you're speaking it with a whole lot more passion. Whenever you believe what you're speaking, you speak it in a whole lot more passion. And I believe God really believed the things that he said. So when he said, let there be light, he knew that there would be light. And so in the same way, we need to fall back to the things that we know are true, what God says that we can do. So in the same way we create by our words and our thoughts and our actions. Note here I mention actions because they usually follow what we believe. The things is most of us use this instrument wrong. We use our minds wrong. I know I did in the beginning when I was growing up, and nobody can necessarily blame me or you because the whole world is falling prey to brainwashing every day. Things like Facebook and media, they're kind of showing you what to look at. They're like, oh, this is a big deal. And it's probably not a big deal. I mean, whenever I see a lot of the news on there, people